When I was a little kid, I had all of the full autism symptoms, no speech, no eye contact, self-stimming behavior, and I got really good early educational intervention. I just can't emphasize enough the importance of really good educational intervention. I got that, and lots of hours of it. Now, people often ask me in my work with animals, how did autism help with work with animals? Well, the thing is, I don't think in words. I think in pictures. Animals think sensory-based. If you're working with somebody that's nonverbal, they're not going to be thinking in words. There's a whole world of visual pictures, sounds, touch sensations, smell sensations, a world of sensory detail. And you've got to enter that world. Now, the thing about people on the spectrum is they get the details. They see the details before they see the whole. You do this test where you've got big letters, and you got big letters made out of little letters. And if you ask the person on the autism spectrum to pick out the little letters, they pick them out faster than if you ask them to identify what the big letter is. That's details. Normal human beings tend to drop out the details. The autistic mind tends to find the details. Okay, in my work with animals, one of the first things I did is I wanted to figure out what scared cattle. Okay, here we're going into a chute, going into a veterinary facility, kind of dark in there, and this particular feed yard is going to tear down this facility. But the problem you got here is the animals are afraid of the flag. Rapid motion, high contrast of light and dark. It's right there in front of you. But people don't see it. This is the kind of things that cattle are afraid of. No, you don't need to tear down the facility, just move the flag. And I would get down into the chutes to see what the cattle were seeing. Look at the shadows you've got in there. You can see people, maybe a chain hanging down. I have this slide I show in my cattle handling talks about a piece of chain hanging down in the chutes. 35 years of talking about cattle handling. I still got to show that stupid slide. Because people don't take it out. And all the work they've done with the slaughter plants, they ask you, animals afraid of getting slaughtered? No, they're more afraid of it's too dark, there's a sparkly reflection, there's a chain hanging down. You get rid of that stuff, then they walk right up the chute. You got to look at it the way the cattle look at it. Here's one that's way too dark, and you can see the windmill there. And when the wind's blowing, the windmill's spinning. And when there's no wind blowing, there's no windmill spinning. You got to look for those kind of details. Pictures. Now, when I was in the 70s doing all that stuff, getting kicked out of feed yards, getting bull testicles put on my vehicle, and that really happened too, I didn't know that other people didn't think in pictures. I thought everybody thought in pictures. I didn't know until I did my book, Thinking in Pictures, which incidentally will be for sale afterwards, along with the 2 animal books. I thought everybody thought that way. And then when I worked on writing that book, I started asking people about how they think. And I asked them, think about church steeples. And I was shocked to find out that most people got this vague, generalized church steeple. I only see specific ones. And I can name off where they are located. There is only specific ones. There is no generalized one. Now, if I ask you to think about house or car, most people visualize their own house or car. The breakthrough was when I asked about something that you're a little less familiar with. Something you see every day, but you don't pay much attention to them. Now, how do you form a concept? How do you form an abstract concept? I got all these pictures floating around in my head. You see, I don't think in words. I don't think abstract. So how do I form a concept? Well, this little boy drew boxes in his head, and he's sorting cats and dogs into boxes. But I think I want to explain, how do I understand $100 billion? That the banks just evaporated off. And I was really shocked when I converted $100 billion into something I could understand. Our airport, our Denver airport, is about 15 years old. It would cost today $5 billion to build the Denver airport. $100 billion is 20 Denver airports. So for $100 billion, I can put an airport in almost half of all the states, the size of O'Hara. Then that makes that money real. The other thing we got to do, I got social and friends who shared interests. Shared interests. Get the kid into drama club, art club, computer programming, robotics club, these shared interest things. Another thing I feel very strongly about is we need to start teaching job skills. When I was 13 years old, I worked in a little seamstress shop that a lady had in her house. I had internships in college. I'm seeing smart people on the spectrum graduating from college, and they haven't even mowed a lawn for somebody else. That's ridiculous. While I was fooling around in high school, I was taking care of the horse barn, cleaning the stalls, feeding the horses. I was doing carpentry work. I was learning really good work skills. And that's something that really helped me later on in my career. You know, we've got to be teaching those sort of things. Okay, what would the visual thinkers be good at? They'd be good at graphic design, painting, photography, all kinds of things involving, visual, auto mechanics, fixing equipment. The pattern thinkers, engineering, computer programming, mathematics, statistics. And the word thinkers, a lot of them make great journalists. We've got to think about what is this person going to do when he grows up?